Tega and Issa are taxi drivers. They have been in this business for a while, despite making little profit in this bad economy. It's hard to find passengers who are traveling, and when they do, they have to close the car doors to prevent them from boarding another vehicle while they wait for more passengers. One evening, Tega bids her aunt goodbye and heads home. On her way, she meets the landlord's daughter, who boldly suggests that Tega should marry her brother. Tega scoffs at the idea, saying she cannot marry an educated man who is short and has no ambitions. She even calls him stupid, which infuriates the landlord's daughter, and they start arguing, eventually leading to a fight. Later, while preparing supper, the landlord's daughter and son come to see Tega. The landlord's son confesses his love for her, promising to give her everything since she has no family left, if only she agrees to marry him. He tells her that once his father is gone, he will inherit everything. Tega, unimpressed, tells him that he is short and stupid and that she could never marry him. She sends them away, but they promise to return. Angered by her rejection, the landlord's children go to their father and falsely accuse Tega of disrespecting him. They claim that she said he used a loan to build the apartments and is struggling to repay it. They even say she predicted that he would die soon and that the bank would repossess the apartments. Infuriated, the landlord storms into Tega's home and throws her out. With nowhere else to go, she decides to stay with her aunt. Meanwhile, we are introduced to Miles, a wealthy businessman. He makes a phone call to a girl he met earlier at a club. She arrives, and they spend the night together. The next morning, when the girl calls him babe, Miles gets irritated. He opens his drawer, hands her money, and tells her that's all she came for before ordering her to leave. Miles is in a hurry for a conference but is running late. He calls his driver, who arrives quickly. However, while on the way, the car suddenly breaks down. The driver admits that he had forgotten to take it for servicing. Frustrated and late, Miles tells him to find a solution. The driver, knowing Issa, calls her to pick up his boss. Luckily, Issa is in the area and hasn't had a single customer since morning. Issa picks up Miles and drives him to work, eating at the same time, which doesn't sit well with Miles. She even offers him bread, but he refuses, telling her to focus on the road and drive faster. To prove a point, Issa speeds up, scaring Miles. He shouts at her, which angers her in return. She stops the car and tells him that if he doesn't like how she drives, he should get another ride. With no other option, Miles endures the rest of the journey in silence. When they arrive, Miles pays her, but accidentally gives her an extra $7,500. Realizing the mistake, Issa decides to wait for him. Hours later, when Miles is ordering an Uber to go home, Issa returns the extra money. Surprised by her honesty, Miles tells her that the money was meant for her. Touched, Issa thanks him and offers to drive him home for free. Miles hesitates, but eventually agrees, under the condition that she drives carefully. On the way, Issa buys roasted maize and insists that Miles try it. Despite his initial reluctance, he finds it delicious and enjoys it. That night, he eats the maize again and praises its taste. Morning, Miles asks his driver about the car repair, but the mechanic is away for 2 weeks. Frustrated, Miles decides to hire Issa as his temporary driver. Seeing an opportunity, Issa arrives early the next morning, picks him up, and drives him to work. She offers him some akara, bean cakes, for breakfast. Initially, Miles refuses, but after tasting it, he admits it's the best akara he's ever had. Issa promises to introduce him to other street food like rice and meat cooked in a special style. After work, she fulfills her promise, bringing him the rice and meat. Later that evening, while eating, Miles calls his friend, excited about the delicious food. His friend is surprised that a woman gave him food and teases him, reminding him that he once said he would never date an illiterate taxi driver. Miles dismisses the idea and insists he has no interest in Issa. Days pass, and Miles and Issa grow friendlier. They laugh more and learn about each other. One morning, before Miles heads to work, he notices something on Issa's face. He wipes it off for her, and in that moment, he feels something unfamiliar, an attraction. Confused, he walks away as if nothing happened. One evening, while Miles is at home, He calls a girl for company but finds himself unable to go through with it. Feeling uneasy, he sends her away with money. The next day, Miles learns from his driver that Issa is sick and unable to come to work. Worried, he asks to be taken to her home. He meets Tega, who is protective of her cousin but allows him to see her. Miles finds Issa shivering, but still full of life. He offers to take her to the hospital, but she refuses, saying she has already taken herbal medicine. He leaves gifts for her and checks on her every day. Tega notices Miles's concern and tells Issa that he likes her. Issa denies it, saying he's just kind-hearted. Once recovered, Issa returns to work. Tega buys her dresses, urging her to wear them so Miles can notice her more. Issa refuses and dresses as usual. However, while she's away, Tega hides all of Issa's old clothes, forcing her to wear the new dresses. One day, Issa visits Miles's home and, for the first time, wears a dress. Miles is shocked and compliments her beauty. As they talk, Miles attempts to cook but burns the food. Issa takes over, preparing a proper meal. They eat together and chat. Miles asks if she has a boyfriend. Issa explains that her last relationship ended after she paid for her boyfriend's education, only for him to leave her once he graduated, saying she was beneath his class. She tells Miles that she is focused on saving money to return to school and support Tega's education as well. Days later, Miles's driver notices changes in his boss. No more random women, and he even paid for Issa and Tega's school fees. When Issa finds out, she is grateful but unsure how to react. One evening, Tega and Issa surprise Miles by cooking for him to show appreciation. Tega privately asks Miles if he loves Issa and offers to help if he does. Miles smiles but doesn't answer. Later, while Issa is in the kitchen, Miles approaches her and confesses his feelings. Shocked, she walks away without responding. She confides in Tega, fearing that Miles will leave her like her ex did. She also worries about their differences in status and education. Tega reassures her that Miles is different. Issa finally returns to talk to Miles, apologizing for walking away. Miles promises he will not treat her like her ex. Their bond grows stronger and they start dating. One day while out together, Miles receives a call from his friend on loudspeaker. His friend mocks him for dating a taxi driver, reminding him of his past words. Issa overhears and, heartbroken, walks away. Miles tries to explain, but she refuses to see him. Tega tells him that he broke Issa's heart and should leave her alone. Determined, Miles returns, and they finally talk. He confesses that, for the first time, love feels different for him. No woman has ever given him anything, not even something as simple as roasted corn. Issa admits she loves him too, but wants to focus on her education first. She promises that if he still loves her after she upgrades herself, they will be together. Months later, Issa, now a changed woman, returns to Miles. She has finished school, along with Tega. Miles is shocked. Smiling, Issa tells him she still loves him. Miles agrees, and they finally move in together, embracing their future.